This is Tyler Choice. My background is in insight vipassana, meditation, and mindfulness. I'd like to speak about why I meditate, the fundamental reason. And when I was preparing for this segment of this short talk, I was feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. And there's this present sense of the unknown, of I don't know what I'm doing. Even I was watching a series yesterday, and the character is like, I'm not strong, I'm not smart, and the guy's like, shut up. Like, you realize that narrative that runs, which is the case if you think about it, like, no matter how capable you are, no matter how smart you are at a disadvantage in the present moment because you can only reach out and grab so much. You can only grab what's available to you right now. It doesn't matter anything you ever did or accomplished or knew, any information you had, any skills you had. You only have what's available to you right now. And if you're present, you don't know what's available to you right now because you don't know what the next thing you're going to say is. You don't know how it's going to turn out, which is still a little bit better than planning what you're going to say and having it not turn out. So there's what came up is like, for me, with meditation, what came up is the last book of wisdom in the Bible is known as Ecclesiastes. And Ecclesiastes is the message that one day you're going to be at the end of your life and you're going to be exactly where you were the whole time. Everything you did, everything you thought, everything you tried to do, everything you failed at, everything you succeeded at, all your regrets, it's all gone. And you're gonna die. And that's what you're left with. Every spiritual pursuit you ever went on, everything you ever did that you thought you had to do, it disappears. So if there was any meaning in life whatsoever, it wasn't in any of that. Because you don't have it. It's gone. And you're about to be gone too. And I think that one of the things that might make people afraid to meditate, and maybe to be afraid to live in the present moment, is the fear of that. The fear of being cognizant of the not knowing about reality, that the future is not only right in front of you, it's not somewhere far away, it's right in front of you. The unknowable future where everything could be destroyed is not tomorrow, it's in 1 second. It's right there. But I have pursued meditation, and the question of why is because I would prefer to feel intensity, extremity, fear, terror, anger, frustration. I would prefer to feel these things and be present and aware of my experience and aware of my life. I want to be home. I don't want my life to be going on and I'm not there to see it. I want to be present in my own life. I want to have been a witness to my life as it happened. I don't want it to disappear and to know that I wasn't there the whole time. That I didn't witness my own life. And I'm looking at that. That's the motivation, the reason. And I've been experiencing in the last couple weeks that I've started to become a little bit more comfortable, which marks a change in me because I wasn't like this before. But I've started to become a little bit more comfortable in resting, in not knowing what I'm doing. It feels like that's the whole feeling, is like nothing around me feels like I know what I'm doing, which is a lot different than like this false sense of security of knowing exactly what's going to happen because I've been doing the same things and I know the exact same results. Much different feeling. And I think that we all have a hard time sitting with that unknown feeling. And I can say, I believe, that one of the things you could gain from practicing meditation over a period of time, over a period of years, is you expand the window of tolerance. You expand the tolerance window of what kind of uncomfortability you can sit with and for how long. For me, for example, now I can sit with the feeling of not knowing what I'm doing for a period of time. But how long? There's eventually, I would imagine there's a point at which I would say this is beyond my window of tolerance for the unknown that I can handle without knowing what's going on. At some point, I'm going to need to know what's going on. I'm going to need some sense of security, some kind of thing to ground on or hold on to. Unless I let go completely, at which point, let's say the point of meditation's been accomplished at that point. As long as I need to hold on, what I have control over is working at expanding my window of tolerance, of saying this is the box that I can exist in and feel a sense of okayness. Like I can exist here in this space and be alright. And some advice given to me is, if you reach that point of uncomfortability, that you stand up, you throw some water on your face, you walk around, and you come back to it later. But you come back to it, and you come back to it, and come back to it. And, maybe one of the miracles of awareness is realizing that, like, many deep teachings have said this, many ancient teachings, is that the mirror doesn't stain. The mirror does not stain. We're afraid that the mirror will be stained. We're afraid that if we sit with something, it's going to come into our view and it's going to hurt us, it's going to stain us. But what happens in meditation, at least from my experience, is that intense things that you didn't want to see, they arise, they come in front of you, and then they go away. And they didn't kill you. Maybe has something to do with what expands the window of tolerance, is realizing that the unknown that's over there, that you're afraid of coming into your foreground, isn't going to kill you. Maybe it would kill you if you weren't aware and it came in front of you. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. Maybe there's some kind of phenomenon there. I'm not saying that's true or not. Maybe that's bad information that I'm saying right there. Bad thinking. But I know that when there is awareness, when you consciously look at something with presence, with awareness, say you are in the driver's seat and you are looking at the thing, that thing will dissolve, that thing will disappear. Whatever lie it was will be exposed for what it is. And people ask, why is the spiritual path related to reality? Why is it related to truth? Because it dissolves lies. Awareness dissolves lies. Lies are in your unconscious. As you bring lies into the foreground and you look at it and say, that's a lie. How do I know it's a lie? Because now I can see it. I can see it for the lie that it is. The path is always the path to truth, because the path involves looking at things that aren't true, discovering they're not true. That's one less lie. If you get rid of them all you can be left with is reality. With the word real in reality, is that it's not an illusion. It's the last thing remaining. You could say that lies are like illusions. They're the things covering up the real thing. And if you got rid of every lie, all you could be left with is truth. And I think that we as people with minds, a lot of the time we hold on to the truth that we can handle. Over here, we hold on to the truth that we can handle, because if we were to look at reality too much, it might destroy us. It might just be too much to look at. We just die in the face of reality. Just too much truth for us to possibly handle. And yet, living like that, with that kind of false protection, it doesn't really help us. That false protection is similar to like when Adam put on clothes and God said, "Why are you hiding from me, Adam?" And I heard a quote recently. I saw a quote and it said, "The sinner is closer to God than the saint, because the sinner is honest with God and the saint is a liar." You're going to have to be honest with God if you want to get close to truth. If you want to be true, you have to be not lying. You have to first take something for what it is before you can change it or transform it. And I'll throw in one of the dimensions of why Osho told people that he was an ordinary man, because people are very confused about. I've seen people comment on that and be like, "Why is he an ordinary man?" Well, there's multiple reasons. One reason is that he's the Tao. The Tao is simple, ordinary. That's just one reason. Another reason is that, as he's explained, the normal nature of man, of person, to misquote Osho, is a beggar dreaming that he is an emperor. And that all people are beggars dreaming that they're emperors. Or maybe they're emperors dreaming that they're beggars. But everybody is dreaming about being somebody when they're nobody. And when Osho says that he is ordinary, what he means is that he's not dreaming that he's a somebody. He's accepted the reality that never changes. Now, if you compare that to what I said at the beginning of this video, where I said that in the present moment, you don't know. Not only do you not know, but you don't know what skills you're going to have access to in the present. Obviously, if you build up momentum, you can carry on a work. But you don't know. You're ordinary. You're a single vessel. You're limited to what you can understand. I can't right now, with the intellectual reasoning mind, fathom and work out every problem that I want on a universal scale. In one sense, the reality is that I'm an ordinary person. And the teaching that Osho is attempting to disclose there is not that spiritual. That's more of a pragmatist teaching, is that you have to stop dreaming that you're somebody. You've heard other teachers, non-spiritual teachers, say this. People who are in the success business, in the productivity business, is that the reality is that you suck, and that the only way to change that is to admit that you suck and then start doing something about it. But as long as you pretend like you're great, you just live in a dream. I believe that meditation is one of the things, and building that window of tolerance is one of the things that helps us spend time with accepting, not passively accepting, not giving up accepting, but recognizing that the position we are in is that of a limited being and not that of a God being. But from that recognition, you can take steps toward your life. And I believe, at this point, meditating over these years, that I would not have been able to make this statement 5 years ago. And I believe that I'm able to make this statement because I've meditated. And this statement is that I think that when a person is not doing things, it is the result of having confused thoughts and confused emotional turmoils that leaves the person in a state that they are not able to take action because they do not have clarity, they have confusion. Because they're not present, they're dreaming away in confusion. Now, obviously, there are people who say that they don't meditate. And they are able to take action. What's going on there? I disagree that they're not meditating. They're active meditators. They're present. They're focused on the present. My theory of what keeps a person focused on the present is that they have death centered in mind at every second. They have death or a vision in mind at every second. And all of their life conforms to a single goal. I think that we all have considered it. That's like, oh yeah, when I recognize that I'm going to die, it changes my behavior. It changes how I see the world. It changes how I operate. People are conscious enough to do that. The next conscious step from there is when you recognize that I should do that every day. Because if I don't do that every day, I fall asleep. And I don't want to fall asleep. I want to be as conscious as I can. And the only thing that's worked to keep me conscious before is when I recognize that I'm going to die. The rational, pragmatic solution to that is that if I want to stay as awake as I can, then I first need to do all the things that I know how, that I have available to me to stay awake as I can. Talk to the people that are also trying to stay awake, not people who don't have any interest in that. And applying that into the daily life. So if I know that focusing on the fact that I'm going to die makes me a little bit more present, then I need to make sure that I do that every single day, every single morning, maybe every single second at a certain point. Because if I'm not aware in the second, what am I? Where am I? Where was I? This video ran a little longer than I intended to run it, but I hope that this has encouraged you or helped you in some way. And please like or subscribe if you enjoyed the video, because that is how YouTube assesses whether or not people liked the content. So, with that said, I hope you have a great day. Thank you. See you next time.